Good morning, Tennessee Valley, on this Monday, September 24th, first Monday of fall, because I believe we went from summer to fall over the weekend. So hope you had a great weekend. My name is Allen Mincy. I'm your host, and we have a great show planned for today. A couple of special guests. First, let me introduce my co-host, as I always do. It's Lou, our mascot down at the United Way. I work at the United Way, Vice President Communications there, and I always like to take the first little segment to talk about some things that we've got going on at United Way before we bring our guests on. So just a couple of things going on. Tomorrow, September 25th, is our first official Restaurant Tuesday for United Way. We actually had a restaurant day on this past Thursday at CC's Pizza. But on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we will have our Restaurant Tuesday for United Way at one of our newer restaurants in town, Cobblestone Grill. And for those of you that don't know, Cobblestone Grill is right across from the Bradley County Courthouse, 170 North Ocoee Street. A lot of folks will remember it as the old Diamond Lil's. And they've got some great food. They are open from 7 in the morning until 3. And Josh, the owner, is going to turn back 5% of their sales that day to United Way. So if you don't have plans for tomorrow for breakfast or for lunch, please go down to Cobblestone Grill and enjoy the food, the atmosphere. It's a great place. I've been there a couple of times, and I think you will enjoy it too. Get the meatloaf sandwich if you like meatloaf. They've got great omelets in the morning. They've got some great pastries too, great coffee, and some wonderful waitresses there. So please, if you don't have plans, go there tomorrow. We want to remind you about the promotion that's going on at Simply Massage, which is on Inman Street, where for every massage that you purchase, they're giving $5 back to United Way. So Lisa and Sarah down there are doing that through the month of September and into October. So that's a great way to help United Way as well. A lot of other things going on. We're talking with folks over at Books A Million on a promotion coming up. We have a lot of folks in town who are doing dress down days, and you'll see a lot of Live United t-shirts at several of our banks. So a lot of things going on, and our campaign, of course, is going on too. So anything you can do to help United Way, help those folks in our community that are in need of assistance, we really do appreciate it. Enough about United Way, I guess. We've got a great show. Gary Davis, our Bradley County Mayor, is going to be one of my special guests. Gary and I go back several years, and we're going to talk a little bit about Gary and his family and his time here in Bradley County, and then talk a little bit about how he became county mayor and got into politics. And then I have Ryan Faricelli, another good friend, and Ryan has been on Tennessee Valley this morning several times, but he's coming on today as the president of the Cleveland Media Association, and we're going to be talking about a conference that CMA is putting on coming up on October the 5th. So a great show coming up. We'll be back after these messages with our County Mayor, Gary Davis. So please stay tuned.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock, right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Has your disability application been denied? Are you frustrated with the administration's processing of your claim? Do you feel as though the administration simply does not understand why you cannot work? You're not alone. My name is Matthew Coleman and I'm an attorney representative. I find that many of my clients share these concerns and others. As a representative, it's my job to communicate your claim to the administration in a language that they can understand. As an attorney, it's my duty to fight for the disability benefits that you deserve. Come talk to me. The Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson, PC.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
And welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on this early Monday morning. And just for you folks will know that our county government is 24/7, even at 6:30 in the morning on Monday mornings. We brought in the Bradley County Mayor, Gary Davis, and he looks like he's been up all day already.
That's right. It's early in the morning.
It's early.
Monday morning of all times. We start out every week with a commission meeting, so I get look forward to that.
There you go. There you go. Gary, as I mentioned before we came into this, Gary and I have known each other for many years. We worked together at the Cleveland Daily Banner. I don't know if we ever worked together at the radio station or not. I don't remember.
I don't think so, but we did many years ago at the Banner.
Right, and I started there in '87, and you were there when I got there. So that would put us, I can't even add that up, but we're getting close to 30 years knowing each other. And I'm going to go ahead and ask the question that everybody wants to know except for Ryan, who wants to know something about a building in town. But Gary, how long have you had that beard? I've never known you without that beard.
Almost all my adult life. I'll tell you a quick reason for it. When I was much younger, people tell me now I'm old enough I can shave it, but when I was younger I was always called the Davis boy or that Davis kid. Okay. So I always wanted to look older, plus I hated to shave. So I grew it early on. And then after I did get older, my kids said something about shaving, so one time we took a trip to Florida and I actually did shave. But the whole time we were in Florida, they begged me to grow it back. So now I tell people, if you think I'm ugly this way, you ought to see me the other way.
Well,
I'm
most
stuck
of us
with it.
haven't, so we'll just go with the ugly that you portray.
But it's been there a long time. It used to be black.
Well, and then as did mine. But we've both worked in media, and you've worked in government, and I've covered government. And man, that will gray you very, very quickly, I guess.
Well, that's right.
But
mine was black until the job I have now. But
well, I've always wondered about that, because I know that I have never seen you without the beard, and it sounds like, what is this conversation about beards? What is all this? But I've always wanted to ask you that. We've known each other for a long time, and I've known your family and everything like that. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to talk a little bit about your life before we get into your governmental life. But are you a Bradley County native?
Born, raised right here in Bradley County, yes.
Okay. What part of the county were you born in?
I grew up on a dairy farm out in Bates Pike area, East Bradley County, in the Taylor community.
Okay, because Davis is not an unusual name.
There's a lot of Davises. Most of them aren't kin.
Okay.
Or at least they don't claim kin, but there's a lot of Davises.
And a lot of Gary Davises. We've had a lot of Gary Davises.
There used to be 5. There's still 4, I believe.
Right. So
that's why I put the D in front of my name. A lot of people ask me that too, and it's not for any special reason other than I want to keep the other guys out of trouble. So.
There you go. There you go. Family. Are you an only child? Do you have brothers, sisters?
Oh no, I'm number 6 of 6 children.
Wow.
My mom
Baby.
had my brothers. Some of them would say that.
Okay.
One of my brothers used to. I was so much younger. They had 5 kids, and then they waited a while, and then they had the number 6th one. And some of my family used to kid me about I'm really adopted. And as I got older, I figured it out, and I responded back to them that no, I wasn't adopted. They just finally figured out what they'd been doing wrong, and then they had me. But anyway, I'm number 6 of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls.
Okay. All of them still with us?
One brother has passed away,
Okay.
and my parents are both passed away now.
Okay, but the rest of the family still here in Bradley County?
One sister lives in Knoxville.
Okay.
One sister lives in Dalton.
Okay.
And the other, how many does that leave? One sister in Bradley County and a brother in Bradley County.
It's hard to keep up with them when you start going through all that.
Before my mother passed away, she was almost 95, and she loved to brag about how many grandkids and great-grandkids there were, but there was many, many of them. We had to have a school gym to have our Christmas event in.
And speaking of such, I know wife
Sonia.
Yes. And I was going to say Sonia, and I'm going. The worst thing you can do as a host of a TV show is say mention the wrong wife, or something like that, or mention a wife when it's not a wife, or something like that. And children.
Yeah, I've been married to Sonia Brown. Her maiden name was Brown. She's a local girl also. I have 4 children. 2 of them are grown. 2 of them are still at home. One just graduated from Walker Valley. He's now in the Valker program at Chattanooga State.
Great.
And my youngest one, I'm finally getting them through school. My youngest one is a sophomore at Walker Valley.
Okay.
My daughter.
Okay, that's great. Well, and we're not going to talk politics as much as you working with government, but whenever you have been involved in a political campaign, you have run a picture of your family in your ads, and it takes up a pretty good space. So.
And I got to go ahead and mention the 2 that are grown. I have 4 grandchildren.
Okay.
My oldest daughter has 1 child, and my oldest son has 3 kids.
Okay.
And they help a lot during the campaign, so they're part of the campaign pictures. You're right.
Man, that is. I can see where you had to go with a gymnasium for.
Oh, and that's just my part. The others are worse than that.
Okay. Okay.
There's a lot of them.
Okay. We talked that we have known each other for quite a while, and a lot of folks know Gary Davis, know D. Gary Davis from his time as as a county commissioner and as the county mayor. They may not remember the Gary Davis who was involved with media for quite a while, and I guess you started. It's funny. It seems like. Everybody in town has either worked, and you've heard this too, they've either worked at the Banner, at the Chamber, at Life Care. It's like there's 4 places that they've worked somewhere. And we could go back to the days of like Dan Gilly, who worked at the Banner, and Sandra Rowland, who worked at the Banner, and all these folks. you worked at the Banner for many years.
For many years.
But before that, you were in radio before that, weren't you?
Right out of high school, I actually, during high school, started doing a weekly radio program with Corky Whitlock on Saturday mornings. And then when I graduated from high school, I was enrolled at Cleveland State, taking communications major of all things, and Corky called me one day and offered me a job. So I worked nights in radio while I was going through Cleveland State. And then I left for a little brief time and managed a men's clothing store in the Village, the Village Esquire.
Yes.
Along with my brother, and then ended up at the Banner, back to what I'd really gone to school for, and worked in advertising at the Banner for many years, and loved it. And always loved politics, but from an outsider being involved in campaigns, I never intended to be a candidate per se, but I always, as a kid, worked in you know, Howard Baker and Bill Brock and those people's campaigns back when I was a kid. So I loved the politics, but advertising was really what I enjoyed doing as far as a career.
And I think you actually did some advertising. Was there, before you went into government, did you do some advertising back with the radio station? After
I left the Banner in advertising, I went back then into radio, this time in advertising with the Live 95 and WBAC. I did that for a few years until I left employment with them to actually campaign full-time for this position.
Okay. So yeah, you've got a little media background.
And it's full circle. Started out in radio, went to newspaper, and back to radio.
And who knows, when you finish up your term as county mayor, which could be many, many years from now, you may become the Luther of Bradley County and go back into radio.
I don't know. Definitely don't like cameras because they don't do me justice. And, but I hope to not have to worry about that for a while. I love what I'm doing right now. I've been doing it for a while, and I love it more and more every day.
Okay. Well, we will talk a little bit more about that. I mentioned something to you earlier that it seems like I've mentioned this to a couple of people, and they said, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You actually did a little theatrical stuff here in Bradley County. You were an actor, right?
I don't know if you would call it an actor or not, but
well, I didn't say how good an actor you were.
But Creative Arts Guild used to have a little stage production, a dinner theater that they put on across the street from the courthouse, and I did that for a few years off and on. It took a lot of time, but I enjoyed doing it. And I think that probably helped me. I was always a quiet kid. I worked on my grades, but I didn't do a lot of socializing, and I think that helped me to get out and be more open and able to talk. You know, my kids ask me now, say, you know, you don't worry about getting up and speaking, and I said, well, no, might as well not worry about it. You just get up and do it. But I had to learn to be like that, and I think that helped a lot. But yeah, those acting days were a lot of fun.
Well, I remember you doing a little bit of it. I never got to see you act, but I just remember you doing it and talking a little bit about it. And I could tell that you had a little bit of that in your blood, that you enjoyed that. But, and this is just me personally talking from knowing Gary, I have seen you more in a humble type thing where you don't jump out there and try to take the spotlight as much as allow others to take the spotlight and know that you have been involved in some of the things that have helped them to do that.
I love to be a part of a lot of things, but I don't want to be front and center. A lot of times, you know, you may think I'm trying to get my picture in the paper all the time. I think that's expected of me, but a lot of times I'm kind of in the back. You'll see me back there, and that's all I want you to know. I was there and I was a part of it, but I know I don't look good in photographs and on TV and so forth, so, but I do what I think I need to do and what I'm expected to do, I hope.
Well, I want to get into your time as being a county executive, but and serving on the county commission, because you did that before you went into. Excuse me, I said county executive, didn't I?
Well, that's all right.
We don't. You still hear that, I'm sure.
A lot of them are still called that in some counties, by the way.
But what made you want to get into politics or into government? I guess
I wanted to. When I ran for the county commission, I was still at the newspaper, and that was my career. I merely wanted to. You know, people always use the phrase "give back to their community." I wanted to be more involved in the community and do what I could to help in ways of serving on the commission. And that was my only goal. Things changed after that, and I got more involved, and eventually it became obvious that, in my opinion, we needed some more people involved, and I got really interested in it. I actually ran in 1994 and got beat by 110 votes. And looking back on it, that was very good.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, getting beat helps in a lot of ways because you see things a little differently after you've been there and you've not always been successful, so to speak. But that gave me the next 4 years to think about it and prepare better the next time, and the next time was a little more successful. So haven't really answered your question, but it just evolved.
Okay.
It wasn't really planned at all.
Sorry to say, it wasn't something that, and your family wasn't
no.
any folks who were involved in
They
politics.
were always, like me, involved in campaigns for people, you know, always go vote, put up signs, that kind of thing. And I can tell you this, being involved in someone else's campaign and campaigning for them and against their opponent is a whole lot more fun than being the candidate.
I can imagine.
Being the candidate, going through a campaign, especially when it's a contested, really a tough campaign, it's tough on you, it's tough on the family. You know, your family gets worried about. I remember being asked by my little girl when she was very small, Dad, what are we going to do if you don't win? And, you know, they worry about it. We all do, but of course the kids, you know, it affects them.
Sure.
So it's not near as much fun being a candidate as you would think. But I encourage people to be involved in the process, because unless you get in there and get involved, you don't necessarily know who the best candidates are sometimes.
Well, you were first elected to the county commission 1990. I'm going to stop right there because I want to come back and talk to you about 1990 up to 2013. Wow, that's 23 years?
23
years. They told me that there would be no math if I took this hosting job, so I have a little trouble there. But I want to come back after these messages, talk to Gary a little bit about that first time running for the county commission and some things that have taken place in our community since then that Gary has been a part of, and some of the things that's been going on in our community. So we'll be right back after this break with more from our County Mayor, Gary Davis. Stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Hello, I'm Bill Odom.
Hi, and I'm Tammy Odom.
We want to invite you to join us on Joyous Living Today for interviews, testimonies, and gospel music by special guests and Dixie Sunshine.
Right here on WTNB, Sundays at 4 p.m. and Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it.
Jesus, Jesus, the light of the world.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat-screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Has your disability application been denied? Are you frustrated with the administration's processing of your claim? Do you feel as though the administration simply does not understand why you cannot work? You're not alone. My name is Matthew Coleman, and I'm an attorney representative. I find that many of my clients share these concerns and others. As a representative, it's my job to communicate your claim to the administration in a language that they can understand. As an attorney, it's my duty to fight for the disability benefits that you deserve. Come talk to me. The Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson, PC.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
And once again, welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning. I'm your host, Alan Mincy, with my special guest, D. Gary Davis, our county mayor. And we learned a little bit in the last segment about Gary's early life, living here in Bradley County, some things about his family. And we talked a little bit about you getting into, I always hate the word politics, but I guess that's the best way to say it, getting into politics. And in 1990, you were elected to the Bradley County Commission. 2nd District?
2nd District, the North Lee and Charleston area.
Okay.
You mentioned getting into politics. I don't look at it that way. It's a job, it's in government, but the process to get there is political, and that has a bad connotation. I often tell people, or I used to, that I'm not a politician, and I don't feel like I am, but yet anyone that goes through that political process technically is a politician. Sure. But getting into politics, it's a job to serve the people. Working for government is a job to serve. Like someone said, I work for the government and I'm here to serve. And that's what it's all about, and that's what I love about it so much.
Well, I know just from watching, because I did cover county government for many years on the working as a reporter at the Banner, that you folks have it's not an easy job to be a county commissioner, because you have a lot of difficult decisions to make.
And I think having been a commissioner has helped me in this job, because I understand where they're coming from. First of all, you've got 7 districts, 14 commissioners, and usually it's a pretty varied group of people. They come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different parts of the county. They're representing different constituencies, and so no matter what the subject, they look at it from different points of view, nearly always, and that's good. That's what it's for. I can guarantee you, no matter what segment of society you're in Bradley County, you have a commissioner that represents that segment, and they do a good job of it. But it's a very thankless job. They can put a lot of hours into it. They can do everything they possibly can to represent their district, and they're still going to have people complaining because they didn't do something according to their wishes. But it's a thankless job, but it's a good process. I mean, the Bradley County Commission will discuss and debate issues, sometimes too much, but probably that can't be done too much. They will listen to the people. If people have concerns, they will come to the commission, and they will sit usually for as long as it takes to listen to their concerns. They may not be able to do anything about them, but they will listen. And it's a good process. It's similar to Washington and Nashville, except here it actually happens.
I won't ask you to name who your favorite county commissioner is. That's a terrible question to ask. But when you first began, did you have any that sort of mentored you a little bit about what it was like to be a county commissioner?
Well, not really. I knew most of them somewhat. When I went on the commission, most of them had been there for a long time.
Right.
There was, I believe, 6 of us that went in new that year. So us 6 were a group, sort of, and the other 8, I guess it was. But we worked well together. I believe there was 2 Democrats and 12 Republicans, probably 1 lady and 13 men. It was a learning process, but it wasn't very cliquish at all then. It's really not now at all. I'd always heard stories about this clique versus that clique, and it's not been there in the 20-something years that I've been involved, or at least not very much at all.
Well, you mentioned one lady, so when you came in, I guess your fellow commissioner was Jackie Calloway.
Right. Jackie Calloway was one of the 2 Democrats, and she was, I believe, the only lady at that time. I'm trying to think real quick, and she was from, Jackie and I represented the 2nd District.
Right. Okay.
And there again, she was a lady, I was a man, she was a Democrat, I was a Republican, but we worked well together. We represented our district, probably agreed most of the time on things. Because really on the commission, I never saw Democrat and Republican then or now as an issue. Sometimes the issue is more about conservatism, who some people are a little more lenient on their spending than others, and that usually becomes the issues more than the Democrat or Republican.
Okay. You decided to run for county executive at the time, I believe it was called, and did not win the first time that you ran, but did win 4 years later. So you have been county mayor, county executive / county mayor for how long?
Just completed 14 years.
Okay.
14 years.
If you can pick, and like I say, I know it's hard to do, but if you could pick one thing that you're probably the most proud of that has happened in the time that you've served on the commission and as county mayor, what would that be?
There's so many things that I'm proud of. Not that I have really.
And I don't necessarily mean that you were, you know, it takes everyone to make something happen in our community.
One of the first projects that I was involved with was Walker Valley High School. That's something now that I look back on I'm very proud of. Something I never would have thought I'd been involved with is building a new justice center, a new jail. That's not a popular subject, and I was opposed to it for a long time. Finally came to the conclusion that it's something we had to do. The fact that we build it on time and under budget, that's a fact that I'm proud of. Not that I'm proud of the Justice Center per se. I think spending money on jails isn't the best way to spend money, but it's one of those things you have to do. Getting the juvenile center out of a double-wide mobile home into a real juvenile center was a long-range plan of mine that finally came about. There's just been so many things like that over the years. I love everything about it, and I'm proud of so many things. It's hard to say one thing. I really don't know. I guess the overall most important fact that I would be proud of, and something that I continue to work for, is keeping spending down, keeping taxes in line, and not having tax increases. I really believe that government should learn and should live within its means, just like we have to do at home. And I go about the county's budget process just like I do at home. You can ask my wife and kids. You know, if we have it, we do it. If we don't have it, we don't do it. You purchase what you can afford to purchase and so forth. And that's the way we've tried to change the whatever the correct word is about government. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that. And that's not any credit to me. I'm just saying working with the commission. And I've worked with, I believe, 4 different county commissions now. And continuing that thinking process has been a challenge, but I think looking back has been successful.
Okay, so you've worked with 4 different county commissions. Does the future for Gary Davis, is it working with more county commissions? I don't know that you really want to say right now, but what's the future for you? Because the next election will be 2014, is that correct?
2014, about a year and a half.
Okay, will we see Gary Davis's name on the ballot?
Well, I'm superstitious.
Okay.
But I would hope so.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 56 years old. I'm not old enough to retire. I still love my job. I still get up early, go to the office early. That tells me
you get up early and come on TV too.
Sometimes come on TV early, looking the way I look. I love it. I hope it, but I'm at the mercy of the people of Bradley County. I would hope that they look at it and say, hey, are you doing a good job? You want to continue doing the job like we would an employee, like I would look at one of my employees? And if so, I hope to be there a while longer. But I'm not one of those people that want to stay until you're 100 years old and you have to die to leave. But as long as I love it and my health is good and so forth, and the people allow me to stay, I hope to stay a little while longer at least.
Well, I think that's one of the major things that you can say. It is a job. I know you feel good about serving the people of our community, but it's a job that you enjoy and that you say you love. So you've got to have that in your heart.
When I speak to classes, and I love going to schools, the job is so varied on a daily basis. One of the things I love doing is speaking to groups at school. And, you know, I try to tell them, first of all, learn the things that you're going to use in life. And I think a lot of times today they're not learning that. They need to learn how to do a budget, because they're going to have to budget their resources down the line, sure, and those kinds of things. But I also try to get them to understand that when you go to look for that job and get a job, the ideal thing is to get a job you enjoy doing. I've never worried about what the pay was at a job, but do I love it? And if you love it, I love doing radio, but the thing I hated about radio is you were constantly looking at the clock, and therefore time went by slow. Now it's time to go home way before you're ready to go, and that's a good feeling, because that means you love it, you like what you're doing. Of course, the job I have now is so different every day, you don't get bored at it. It's really an enjoyable job, a lot of frustrations. Sometimes it's not as enjoyable as it should be because of the nature of the job, but still overall it's a job I love. And you know, I think if people, once they get through school and they start looking for a job, if they can get a job that they love, because it doesn't matter what you make as much as the fact that you love it. There's people that make a lot of money that are unhappy, and there's people that make very little money that are happy.
Yes.
So having a job that you love, and right now I have a job I love, and hopefully the people will allow me to keep it for a little while.
Well, since you love your job so much, and it's getting a little bit later in the morning, we might ought to let you go
Time
down,
to get to work.
let you get down to the courthouse. You may be the first. You may be opening up the doors. I don't know if anybody gets. Dan Howell usually gets there about 7 in the morning.
Yes, I always love going in early. You check your emails and do things like that without.
You do that
anyone,
at the Banner. I remember that. You were one of the first ones.
Oh yes, I was at the Banner. I was always there 2 or 3 hours before Goldie ever got out of bed, probably, so to speak.
Exactly. So,
Mr. Wattenberger. But well, I tend to still be like that as I'm getting older. I'm not as much like that, but.
Well, we will let you head down to the courthouse and do some Bradley County business today. We appreciate you being on the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.
And I appreciate you being my friend. It's been a long time. So, you know, we will hopefully have you on the show again as the years continue. And
I hope so.
You got something big that happens in town, you let us know. We'll get you on here.
Well, I appreciate it. As I always say, I'm with the government. I'm here to serve. Just let me know if I can ever do anything.
We know your number. We know your number. Okay, D. Gary Davis, our county mayor, we appreciate him being on the show. We're going to take a break now. Let Gary get down to the courthouse, maybe pop some coffee on down there for everybody. And we'll be right back with Ryan Faricelli. So hold on, and we'll be right back.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock, right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Has your disability application been denied? Are you frustrated with the administration's processing of your claim? Do you feel as though the administration simply does not understand why you cannot work? You're not alone. My name is Matthew Coleman, and I'm an attorney representative. I find that many of my clients share these concerns and others. As a representative, it's my job to communicate your claim to the administration in a language that they can understand. As an attorney, it's my duty to fight for the disability benefits that you deserve. Come talk to me. The Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson, PC.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning. This is Ryan Fariselli. With me, as always, is my stalwart traveling companion, Lou. And joining me this morning is Alan Mincy from the United Way.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
I appreciate you coming out.
What is going on here? It's bizarro world here. No, we planned that.
We're just being nostalgic.
And Ryan, you know, you sit him down in one of these chairs, and he just goes into the host co-host mode. What can we say? Many of you will remember Ryan from co-hosting with Rob Alderman on Fridays.
I'm the Dan Howell of my generation, in the same way that Rob Alderman is the Michelle Baker of his generation.
Well, I've never really heard it said that way, but I guess
many people say that.
And what would Joe Palo be?
Joe Palo, you know,
he's something.
I don't even know what generation he's from, so it's hard for me to really peg him down. You know,
I think Joe is sort of like Austin Powers. He's a man out of time.
Sure, something like it.
Now, I asked Ryan to come on for a couple of reasons. The first is he's a snappy dresser, and
I'm very snappy. Although my tie, I don't know what's going on with my tie, but it looks like it's 12 feet long. It's kind of like down to my knees today, but when I stand up, it's not. But in this chair, it's deceiving and distracting.
It looks great. You're very color coordinated.
If this mic wasn't attached to it, I'd just take it off, because now it's really bothering me looking at that.
I've never seen anyone wear black and gray and me say you're very color coordinated.
I'm a dapper gentleman.
Yes, you are. But Ryan is the president of the Cleveland Media Association. And
also in politics, much like D. Gary.
Yes, that's true. You're president. He's just a county mayor.
DG, as he and I, you know, as I call him.
Well, we call you RF. Well, see, you're getting me all confused here. And he had to bring that. Okay, that's
what? The Whitney Hornet lives
here. That's right. It lives right there. I thought we'd destroyed that somewhere down the line. But Ryan is the president of the Cleveland Media Association. We've got an event coming up, and I say we because I'm a member.
Right. And a lot of you at home are wondering, well, why is the president here? Why isn't the public relations officer from the CMA board here?
Well,
and the reason for that is because the guy is lazy and I can't get him to be on TV.
No. That's me.
Because the guy is lazy and he's on TV all the time.
You are right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You pegged me perfect. But we've got a special event coming up. But
That's
first, Ryan, in all seriousness, tell the folks on that camera what the Cleveland Media Association is.
Camera one?
There he is.
Oh, I'm on camera two. I missed camera one. That was my friend. But camera two, let me tell you what the Cleveland Media Association is. If I can say it. Association.
You're working on it.
Yeah. We're a group of media professionals, if you can believe that. Looking at Alan and I.
We are.
But we're a group of media professionals in the Cleveland-Bradley County area who get together on the first Friday of every month at the Cleveland Public Library at about 11:45. And we have lunch and we network, and then we also have a guest speaker who comes in and will share some insight or knowledge or do some teaching, just about anything that involves the media. We've had Dan Howell, in fact, at one point came and talked about what it was like to work public relations for the mayor's office during the tornadoes last year.
Exactly.
So you never know exactly what our speakers are going to be, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very insightful if you are a media professional, whether that's a graphic designer or a public relations person, or if you're in TV or if you're in radio. Except for, I should preface, except for Steve Hartline, we do not allow him at our meetings. There is a minimum height requirement to ride this ride, and he does not meet it.
Steve, I did not ride his. This is all coming from Ryan.
He's not listening anyway. He's on his own show.
Actually, Steve at the station turns this show on at 6:30 on Mondays.
Yeah.
Just to see what's going on. He may not have the sound up, but when he sees you're on, he will turn the sound up.
He never watched my show when I was here on Fridays.
Well, Monday though is a little bit different.
Yeah, he's a big Mincy fan.
He is, and he's also on
the
Monday,
president of your fan club.
He's the only member.
Well,
so we let him be president and public relations person as well. But okay, Cleveland Media Association has a special event coming up on October the 5th.
That's right.
And what is that? Pray tell, what is that special event, Ryan?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Alan.
Yes.
The Cleveland Media Association, for the past 6 years, has hosted a fall communications conference. And basically, we spend the whole day with bringing in speakers from outside, and we have lunch, and it's sort of a big learning opportunity. We've got a couple of great keynote speakers, and then we do breakout sessions. It's sort of like any other conference in that respect, except this one focuses on networking and is great if you're a local media professional or if you are a local media student. A lot of the Lee I started to say Lee College. That's how old I am.
Right.
The Lee University students come to it as well, and in fact, this year at our conference we're actually featuring them a little bit, and we can talk about that in a minute. But
sure.
This is our 6th conference, and this year our theme is New Media, New Perspectives, Keeping Media Modern.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the challenges involved in dealing with traditional media in a world where social media is changing the philosophies of how we do traditional media.
What is new media?
New media, they call it new media. It's kind of a misnomer, but new media really is really mostly just social media and the internet. Mm-hmm. Even though, the first email was sent in 1971, it's not really become something that affected newspapers, for example, until just in the last few years.
Right.
Now there are what we would think of as a traditional newspaper that publish solely online. They don't even have a print edition. And so we've got a gentleman by the name of James Harrison from Nuga.com, which is one of those organizations. And he's going to come in and talk about what it's like to do traditional media in a new media format.
Right. Okay.
So, new media is, like I said, it's not really new, but it's how we separate what we think of as traditional media, which would be newspaper, television, and radio, and, anything print, and how we separate that from really anything electronic, like reporting over Twitter and Facebook and on the internet.
And a lot of us still go to the newspaper, of course.
Sure.
But
Rob Alderman every single morning goes out to his front yard to the little hole to get his Cleveland Daily Banner.
I heard that, and it comes out the day before, so you really should go out there the night before and pick it up. He would be a lot more informed if he didn't wait till the next morning, especially after the rain. But those of us that still read the newspaper are a lot of times on Twitter, or a lot of times on Facebook,
right,
or a lot of times looking at online versions.
That's right. And a lot of print newspapers actually publish, they break their news over Twitter. They share their top stories on Facebook, and then the next morning their print copy comes out with all of that information in it in the well-researched, sort of way that a traditional newspaper does. One of the things that we forget, and Stephen Crass always mentions this whenever he speaks about how social media is affecting his business at the Banner, is that the newspaper is still sort of viewed by the American public as the only source of news that is unbiased. When we think of television, well, it's divided up. You've got, Fox News is over here for the left, and MSNBC is on the right, and things like that. And Colbert's on the right, and
sure,
Jon Stewart's on the left. And television is viewed that way. Radio is often viewed that way. Even NPR is considered to be liberal news media by many. But traditional newspaper, print newspaper, has somehow escaped those labels. And I think some of that is just because since they aren't breaking news the minute it happens, they're able to fact check and research and those sort of things a lot more thoroughly than other things. And so there's always going to be a need and an importance to that. I don't think it's ever going to go away, but certainly these newspapers are having to adjust their traditional newsprint philosophies to affect news media. So, and we have a guest speaker from.
You have Harrison Keeley from
the Chattanooga Times Free Press, right? And he is their social media editor, or their web producer, I think is his official title. And he basically decides what they break on Twitter, what they break on Facebook, and then what they hold for their print edition. And so he's going to come and talk about that.
Okay. Well, we've mentioned James and Harrison coming. We've got. I know we've got some other guests coming.
Sure. Sarah Jennings is coming from News Channel 9. Right. She's going to talk about...
She's been on our program before. So
she's great, and she's a fantastic speaker. She actually spoke on one of our panels at this conference last year and did a fantastic job. And so we're looking forward to her talking about how social media affects the way they break news for television.
We're going to have Eric there. Eric Wilbanks, who was just our last guest speaker for our Cleveland Media Association.
That's right. He's a digital strategist for a local public relations firm called the Alderman Group, and he works with local businesses and helping them figure out how to use social media for their businesses. So we're really sort of approaching this from all sides. We've not mentioned...
I was going to say, we've got two keynote speakers.
Our two keynote speakers that we've not mentioned.
Right.
Our morning keynote speaker is a gentleman named John Moss. Now, folks here in Cleveland might not have heard of him, but if you're in Chattanooga, you have. He is, first of all, he's the president of the Social Media Club in Chattanooga. The Social Media Club is an international organization, and their Chattanooga chapter, he is their president, but he's also owns a company called Moss Media Labs, and they are actually a social media marketing firm. And so businesses and organizations hire them to help develop their strategies. And then our lunchtime keynote is...
And we're all looking forward to this.
This is probably the thing I am most excited about, but our lunchtime keynote is Kevin Trowbridge, who of course used to be a professor here at Lee University, and he's moved on to Belmont University in Nashville. But he's going to come and talk about how social media and new media has changed the way traditional organizations like nonprofits, businesses, how they relate to their target public and how that has changed.
And we've heard Kevin's presentations in the past, and he does a great job. He was the person to go to if you needed to ask anything here when he was here at Lee University.
Yeah. And I'm glad he's gone because now I'm that guy.
And we're glad he's coming back. No, we are looking forward to both John and to Kevin. But you mentioned earlier something about Lee University students as well.
That's right. At the end of the day, we always traditionally end our conference with a panel discussion. And this year, our panel discussion, we're going to, instead of bringing in media professionals, we're sort of flipping it on edge, since new media is really something that is... the younger generation has, even younger than me, and I'm only 22, 24, okay. But anyway, the younger generation, they've grown up in a world where they've never known, to them traditional media is new media. There is no difference. Both have existed their whole lives. And so we thought, instead of bringing in a bunch of all of us older traditional media sort of specialists to talk about how it's affecting our jobs, instead, we're going to flip our conference on its ear at the end, and we're going to bring in some Lee University communications and TCOM students to talk about to talk about the perspective of being sort of the target audience that all of us traditional media folks are trying to somehow connect with.
We're going to learn from the kids.
That's right, and I think that's going to be great. And you know, Mike Finch, who teaches at Lee University, he is helping to organize that part of it. I want to so shout out to him.
Okay.
We really appreciate what he's helping us out with. So we're really excited about it. And if you're not excited about the topic or the guest speakers, then know that there will be lunch served.
And it's a great lunch because it's going to be at
the Life Care Centers of America Welcome Center. If you went last year, we were actually in the PDC. This year, we're going to be in the next building over called the Welcome Center. But it's going to be it's going to still be a great conference. And the Welcome Center, in many ways, is more suited to what we're doing. And there is lunch provided, and it's a Life Care lunch. And if you've ever done anything at Life Care, you know that we eat well.
It's top notch. Anybody that wants to learn more about the conference, they should.
They can go to our
website,
our conference website, which is cmatenn.org/conference.
Okay.
So that's CMA like Cleveland Media Association.
Right.
TENN like Tennessee. So cmatenn.org/conference.
And my understanding is they need to register by the 1st. Is that correct?
We prefer them, yeah. So to get the early bird pricing, you need to be registered by October 1st.
Okay.
And the pricing for folks who are members is $65. And it goes up. All of these prices go up $10 after October 1st. But for members, it's $65. For non-members, it's $90. And for students, it's only $20. So I really encourage everybody to, it's for the quality of the speakers that you're getting and to get lunch.
Right.
You really can't beat the price for a conference like this.
No, and it's on a Friday, so you can check out from there and go on home.
That's right. We start about between 8 and 8:30. We do sort of just casual networking where you can meet other professionals in the industry and things, and then our conference starts about 8:30. And we get done about 4 o'clock, and everybody can go home and enjoy the weekend.
And it's also a great chance, if you are not a member of the Media Association, to learn a little bit more about us.
That's right. Come see what we're like.
We would love for you to come and be a part of our group. We have a great group.
We have great guest speakers. We were the very first group in Cleveland that managed to get public relations folks from Amazon to come out and talk about the new warehouses right before they opened.
Exactly.
So, we're very current. We have our last guest speaker, we talked about Eric Wilbanks. He came in and talked about how to use LinkedIn and some other things as businesses. And we've had just all sorts of great guests. And I think people who are in the communications industry or even local businesses who are looking to figure out how to network with your local news agencies, there's a lot really to benefit from the Cleveland Media Association.
Fantastic. Ryan, I appreciate you being on the show. We're running out of time.
Oh, no.
Yes. And what's it feel like to be a guest?
It's scary.
It's scary.
Really, yeah, I'm nervous.
You did a great job. One of these days, you may move up to host status.
I hope so.
Thank Ryan for being on our show today. Thank D. Gary Davis, our county mayor, for being on. It's early Monday, so we can say have a great week, everybody, and we will see you again next Monday on Tennessee Valley This Morning. See you, folks.